Hello and welcome to episode 76 of the Critical Twits Gaming Podcast, where today we're talking Netrunner, the Euros, and we have an interview with Coop, the tournament organiser. Hello and welcome to the Critical Twits Gaming Podcast. I'm Brian Ellis.
And I'm Joe Lewin.
And today we're talking Netrunner.
Yay!
Yay! Woo! And other exclamatory noises. Today we're going to be talking about the Euros, specifically Joe's experience at the Euros, the big tournament that happened at the beginning of the month, and we also have an interview with Coop, who is the tournament organizer, who's going to run us through what it's like to run an event. How he expected the event to pan out, and how any sort of bizarre rule-specific queries he had to deal with at the time. So it's quite nice for us. We keep having guests at the moment.
Yes, yeah. It's brilliant. It's another really good example of of how even the people that are running this community, essentially, or at least the events within the community, are still happy to engage on this kind of level.
Yes, yeah, it's nice. It also means I have to do less work and have more time to play Netrunner, which is always good. Yes, so for those of you who are following us for our kind of newbie angle on the Netrunner scene, this is the first time any of us have taken part in what they call a premier event. There are 3 different types of event, aren't there, Joe?
Yeah, there are. So FFG break down their different events into 3 tiers. You have relaxed, formal, and premier. Relaxed events are basically everything up to the store championship level. From their documentation, the focus on in a relaxed event is creating a fun and friendly environment. A formal event are used for regional championships, and they are focused on a friendly, competitive environment. Whereas a premier event, you're expected to know everything and not really have to go, how does this card work, or any of that rubbish. And the focus for that is on a competitive and fair environment.
So you didn't have to be friendly over that weekend?
No, it was brilliant. No, the focus is on making running an event that is the most competitive this game gets. So you're not expected to go, oh, you missed a activation window, of course you can do a thing. Sadly. But we'll get to that later. But yeah, it regardless of you not having to be friendly, I felt everybody was, because again, it's still the same community. Everyone is lovely.
Yes. I mean, there were people there that we knew, lots of people there that we didn't know as well. How many people were taking part?
It was 200 odd.
Cool.
This is a little bit further on. I do have an exact number in the interview later.
Excellent. So it's about 200 people. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of cards.
It's a lot of cards.
It's a lot of cards. Did you pick up anyone's deck and walk off with it?
No.
That's the kind of thing I would do in confusion.
No, I made sure I had brand new sleeves, so I knew what my bits were.
Are those the ones with your face on the back giving a thumbs up?
No, I got them afterwards.
We should get proper Critical Twits sleeves made.
That might be a thing. And
then we could be dickheads with t-shirts and special sleeves.
See, I'm thinking of binning off the t-shirt and just getting myself a Critical Twits bandana.
About Critical Twits bandana, like
yes.
Some kind of post-apocalyptic
twat.
It could be like a gang. It could be like a cyberpunk gang.
Mirror shades and a bandana.
Yes.
Mirror shades with the logo holographically put onto the things.
Yeah, I've got an old toaster. I'll crack it open and we could glue a bit of circuit board to the side of your face.
Cool.
Be quite good.
Next year's Euros is going to be amazing.
Yes. We should. What was that old Nintendo thing that you could wear on your arm?
Oh, the Power Glove.
Yeah, you should turn up. You should turn up next year with one of those.
Do you know what? If it wouldn't make me look like a dickhead playing Yu-Gi-Oh, I probably would.
You could always have a backup Yu-Gi-Oh deck to go and play if things go badly.
just sellotaped onto the Power Glove.
Yes, yeah. So, fittingly, for the first time one of us has entered a big tournament, it was also the first ever Euros or European Championship.
It was.
So the event took place at the UK Games Expo, and those of you that have been following have been hearing mine and Aaron's coverage of what was going on at the rest of the expo. We've been interviewing lots and lots of people, talking about board games and role play games, and you were kind of designated our special person, not in a horrible way, to go over to the competitive gaming side of things and go and sort of do that for us. Thank you very much to the UK Games Expo, because we all got press passes, which made us feel incredibly important. Although I did have to beg for yours slightly.
Yeah, I think the gaming side of things isn't really a big press draw.
No.
So I think for them it's actually quite good that they've had a little bit of exposure on that side. So hopefully they will agree with us and give us the same thing next year.
Yes, it was very nice of them. So thank you very much. Okay, so big tournament then, Joe.
Yeah.
We'll go through a little bit of how it went for you, and we'll save the interview with Coop for the end, hopefully to give it a bit of context and make some of the things he'll be talking about make a little bit more sense. How does the tournament itself actually work for those people that weren't there or don't know how something with 200 people, like, do you have to play 199 games in Netrunner?
No, sadly not. I think I'd have quite enjoyed that. I'd have died, but it'd have been fun.
Still be there now, I think.
Yeah, probably. So my initial thing was going, right, okay, cool, I've got my printed deck lists. And so I arrived, and they went, right, we're doing the deck lists, you need to go and hand them in. So I joined a queue.
Yes,
I've not had to queue for a tournament before. This was interesting.
Deck lists are important, aren't they?
They are.
In a Premier level event and above.
Yep.
You have to provide a printed deck list, which is slightly different.
No, you do not have to provide a printed deck list. You do
or a written deck list.
Well, I got this was my probably one of my very few irritations of the entire day.
We're starting. We're starting
actually,
with the good stuff.
I really should have mentioned this during the interview and called Coop out on it because it was his decision. So I wrote up my deck list. I couldn't edit the PDF on your computer because I sat there doing it on your laptop.
Yes.
So I went, right, that's fine. I'll just copy the table and write everything out exactly in the same layout. So when I turned up with that, and they went, have you got your deck list? I went, yes, look, I've got 2 copies of this. And they went, oh, we need to make sure that's okay because it's not on the exact Fantasy Flight tournament thing. I was like, no, but I've copied the tables, so it's literally there's only a couple of bits of information that aren't on there. And they went, right, okay. And then they went and asked Coop. They went, no, it's not on the official thing. You have to sit and rewrite it. Here's a biro.
Oh.
So I left the queue. I wrote out my deck list by hand, and I went back in the queue.
It could have been worse though. If you, if viewers want to click across to our last episode of Critical Twits Does Netrunner, you'll find that deck lists really are important.
Bless them. One of the guys that run Last Click did, because obviously you need to be specific when you're writing out your deck list. So
yeah, you can't have three of that card. What does this?
No. So like before, everyone would just write 3 times Levy, and everyone would go, "That's fine. Levy AR access." Everyone knows that. Yes. There is now a second card with Levy in the title, so you'd have to specifically state which one you're using.
Yes. Yeah.
You can't just write Eli anymore. You have to write Eli 1.0 or 2.0 because there are 2 Eli cards currently in rotation.
It's difficult when kids grow up. It causes problems.
It does, especially when it causes you a game loss, unfortunately. But
yeah,
I didn't have any of those.
Much stricter than the lower levels that we're kind of used to maybe poking around at.
Yeah, where you just turn up and everyone just kind of plays games.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the level where obviously I don't think this happened here, but I read online if you're playing like we have before and someone accidentally walks off with one of your agendas.
Yes.
If they do that accidentally and you get your deck is checked in the next game and that agenda is missing, you lose that game.
Ooh.
So you really need to check. Yeah, massively paying attention to everything.
Count the number of cards in your deck at the end of the game.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I think it's good for someone that likes the competitive environment. I think it was run well, and I wouldn't ever sort of begrudge that level of scrutiny because I think it's necessary at the high end.
Yeah, what are the prizes at a Euros? What
Oh
do you
God,
get? What loot do you get?
the prizes were actually quite. So for just participating, everyone got a Euros coin. Everyone
Cool.
got which is actually quite a hefty little metal thing. You've seen
I
my
have.
coin.
You could bludgeon a vole to death with it.
Everyone got the coin. Everyone got an alternate art baguette, which is actually quite nice. I like the alt art. They were your participation prizes. If you came top 16 and made it into day 3, you got a medal.
Nice.
The winner got a ticket to Worlds.
That's the big prize, isn't it?
Oh,
a ticket
yes.
to World. Is that a ticket to Worlds in the sense that they can go and compete? It's a travel package. I found the same thing.
It is a travel package.
So they get taken to somewhere on a different continent to go and play Netrunner.
Yes.
That's quite cool.
That is pretty good.
I like that. That's a proper expensive prize.
Yeah, it's good.
Does it cost a lot to play at the Euros?
It was 18 quid.
18 quid. That's not too bad.
On top of any other expenses for your weekend, obviously.
That's quite good. You can win a trip to America.
Yeah.
For 18 quid. And
not bad at all.
being good at Netrunner.
There's a couple of trophies were available. There were some tokens as well. Were memory tokens, I believe.
Yeah.
Which obviously, the further you get, the better the prizes you got.
Yes. Yeah.
Deck boxes are quite good quality ones as well. It's not your normal.
I like the cardboard ones, but they're not the best thing ever.
No, they're very much in the sauce. Actually, exact same style and quality, I believe, as the deck box I use anyway.
Which cost about 20 quid, didn't it?
20 to 30, and was worth every penny. So
yeah, nice sturdy solid thing.
Oh yeah, magnetic closing.
Yeah.
all the bells and whistles. Like it's a good price.
Yes, cool. So how exactly then do they winnow you down from 200 fresh-faced hackers stroke junior executives to, I'm trying to make it thematic and it's not working, to the one champion?
So we everyone arrives on day 1, gets settled down, gets paired up, and play some games. It's standard Swiss for your first day. So people that win will get paired against people that win. People that lose will get paired against people that lost.
Yes.
And you are assigned points based on how you've done in each game. So each round you'll play 2 games. One as runner, one as corp.
Yeah.
If you win the game, you get 3 points.
Yeah.
If you win based on time running out, you get 2 points.
Yeah.
If you draw, you get 1 point.
Yeah.
And if you lose, you get 0. So you can get anything between 0 and 6 points per round.
Cool.
There's 5 rounds, and if you got 18 points, you made it into day 2.
So that's winning a total of 6.
6 out of 10.
6 out of the 10 to get through to the next.
Obviously,
the next stage.
You might have to win 6 and a draw if one of your wins was timed. Like it's not exactly just win 6 games.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's anyone with 18 points got through to day 2, and then at the end of day 2, the top 16 were made the top cut into day 3 on the Sunday.
Yes. So that's quite a lot of Netrunner if you make it.
It is.
Because although we've said it's 18 quid, if you're not resident in Birmingham or the surrounding localities, it's quite a long. It's quite a long weekend. You're going to have to stay, etc., etc.
Oh yeah.
Were there lots of people travelling? Because it's not just the British Championship, it's not the Nationals anymore. It's the Euros. Did you meet any of our European friends? And as Theresa May would have it, enemies.
I met quite a few different people. Like half of the people. Just trying to think. I played against a couple of Europeans during my games on the first day. I met some of the Americans that had travelled over.
Isn't that cheating?
A little bit.
It is, yeah.
But they didn't win, so I think it's okay.
Okay.
And then
Did they turn up partway through the second day
and claim victory?
Claim to have won it for us.
Make a film, or many films. So yeah, I mean, I met a couple of people. Obviously, some of them which have had the interviews with people might have heard. Dan DiArgenio, Kenny. There was Tristan that was there, who is in the country at the moment, but is from South Africa.
Yes.
There'll be an interview with him coming up in a later episode. We met the guys from Teamwork Cast as well.
Oh, I love Teamwork.
Oh, they are amazing, and they are lovely, and they gave us some alt art cards, and they'd heard of us, and it made my day.
Do you know what really impressed me about Teamwork Cast when we had a little chat?
What's that?
Was they were punning. They're German, and they were punning in English better than many English people I know.
They are fantastic.
They had a better grasp of our native language than Colin, who joined us for the weekend, for instance.
So yeah, that's how the tournament plays out.
Cool.
I sadly only made day one.
Spoilers!
I know. But we can run through the games I played and everything to go over what happened.
So as someone who had to pretend to be a journalist in order to earn back his £30 free ticket, I didn't get to. Obviously didn't get to join in the event itself, but I did get to help you with your preparations for the event. Did you do a lot of practice? Was there a lot of running up and down stairs, punching meat, 80s power ballads playing in the background?
There was, but it was all online.
It was all online.
Yeah.
Running up virtual stairs.
Yes.
And punching meat damage?
No. I didn't do anywhere near as much practice as I should have. I didn't play anywhere near as many games in the real world as I should have. I didn't play anywhere near as many games on Jinteki as I should have.
There is a definite difference between playing a game looking someone in their cold dead eyes and playing a game on Jinteki and just watching some cards flick around on the screen.
There is. When they make Jinteki a VR experience,
yes,
it'll be the best thing ever. But no, I mean, I'm not one that does lots of preparation for any important event in my life.
No.
So I've having just finished university a week beforehand. And kind of rushing the last couple of assignments, I kind of didn't leave myself much time to practice.
No.
Luckily, I did bump into Richard Hammond online, who smashed me in a game on Jinteki, and then went, "Oh, look, these are what I'm using. Do you want to use the same decks?" And we talked about some different changes and things, and I made changes and got told it was bad, and kind of went, "I don't care. I'm doing it anyway."
For those not in the know, this isn't Richard the Hamster Hammond. This is Richard Hammond, the nice one from Sheffield who runs the charity gift tournament each year.
Yes.
Which we talked about back in November?
Yeah, I believe so.
As my first experience of organised play, and had a great time and helped raise some money for charity. So he's a lovely guy. He helped you out a little bit.
He did. I'd have probably made very different choice. Well, not very different, but fairly different choices without the discussions I had with him.
So were the choices sort of influenced by the overall sort of meta game, the state of Netrunner as it stands as a living card game? It's constantly changing. Do you have to be really sort of meta aware when you're going to one of these big events?
Yes. If you're going to a big event, you need to be aware of what's going on. Right now, asset spam is king, so you need to have a plan against it.
Yeah, these are all the Moons decks, right? With Estelle Moon, who makes asset spam even better than it has ever been before.
Yes. And because Rumour Mill is a tier 3 card now, she's kind of unchecked. So
unique, yeah.
Yeah, so she's pushed a lot of decks into overdrive. So that's a thing that you have to be aware of from the Corp side. The CI decks for HB, with their many events to trigger quick scores out of hand,
Yes, there's a really cool deck that does that called Killer Penguins, which I played against you
Yes.
as part of your practice, which I really enjoyed mostly because it was called Killer Penguins.
Yeah, so stuff like that's about again, which is pretty cool. And I think actually could have done really well at the event because
Yeah,
reasons. And then from the runner side of things, I suppose you need to be able to defend against your usual things like account siphon. I don't think there's any particularly meta-defining runner decks at the moment.
there was a lot of wizard kicking about again, wasn't there?
But
because it was a
that's-
reaction to the spam of
Yes.
assets.
Yeah. So the corporations kind of defined the meta, I feel.
Yeah, actually, I think that's yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah,
The
Wizard is playing hard. Is played a lot, probably 50% ish, because asset spam is so good, and he's good at clearing assets. For those who don't know, he gets 3 credits every turn he can use to trash cards.
Yeah,
so it allows him to keep up in the money game, whereas most decks fall behind.
Yeah, he can find and kill a Jackson Howard for free every turn if he's so inclined. So yeah, that ability is just so good. He's going away in September or whenever it is. He'll be retired, stroke arrested for crimes against small people.
Pretty sure he's just getting shot, but
possibly.
He's on Boom, isn't he?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I got slightly confused. Jackson Howard's going away as well.
Yay!
Yeah. So they're all these people. They're all being boxed up and thrown in my cupboard.
Yep.
All of the actual people just tied up.
Oh yeah, in boxes.
In boxes, yeah. So, what did you decide to take, Joe?
I took Wizard because, it's the thing to do in this meta, and as much as I,
the most competitive choice.
Yeah, I don't like him, but it's a thing you do.
He looks like a lot of people that I've known in my time as a nerd.
Yeah.
Many of whom I do not like.
Exactly. Yeah, that is one of the issues I have. But I don't think he's interesting. It's amazing that when he came out, everyone thought he was rubbish for like 6 months.
Really?
Oh yeah, he was like, oh, this is like an unplayable ID. Little did they know, years later he would be dominating matters.
Yeah, because he was the big thing at Worlds, which was back in October, November.
Yeah. He's been a big thing for a while now because
and
again,
he's still about.
Worlds NEH was asset spam. So
So the corp side has shifted, but the runners haven't so much.
The corp side has shifted in colour, not in tactic, particularly.
That's it. Yeah.
So yeah, I took Wizard. I also took a really, really, really nice IG deck using Estelle Moon and.
Is that the Jinteki one?
Yeah.
Industrial Genomics.
Industrial Genomics. So every card that is face down in archives increases the trash costs of cards by 1. So if you've got 3 face down cards, Jackson Howard, instead of costing 3, would cost 6 to trash.
Yeah.
Idea is it pushes Wizard out a little bit, so he has to be checking archives. You throw lots of damaging cards in archives, so he gets hit by shocks and stuff like that. Yeah. And then you slowly try and murder them. Which works really well.
Yeah, that deck took a slight hit in the most wanted list because Bioethics Association ended up on the list.
It did. But it got Estelle Moon, which is far better.
Yes.
Because she's just stupid good at the moment.
Yeah. So you might have one less maybe or something, but you can find them much quicker because of her Moony goodness.
Well, yeah, pretty much. So yeah, they are the decks I took. If anyone does want to see the decks, give us a shout and I can show you them. But they're basically just look at the decks that Richard Hammond has posted up onto Netrunner DB.
Yes, we'll pop a link to those. We'll find them and pop a link in the comments. Not in the comments, in the little bit on YouTube at the top, or in the what's the word I'm looking for? The bump that accompanies SoundCloud. It's a good technical term.
Yes.
This is why I got to go and be a member of the press. So I know words like bump.
Cool.
Yeah.
Exciting stories.
So you didn't do enough practice.
I
You were
didn't.
playing one deck you really liked and one deck you weren't so keen on.
Yep.
How did it go?
Um, it started okay.
Did it feel much different to sort of playing in the smaller events that we've taken part in so far?
It was noisier, but no. I didn't feel that much different at all to playing at the store championships or anything else.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I'm someone that's played a national level game at the Expo now for 3-4 years in a row. So
Yeah, you've bounced from game to game.
I have.
Played some Dice Masters last year, which we covered on the podcast. And
Yes.
was it Hero Clicks the year before? The year before that?
The year before that was HeroClix.
Yeah.
I think the one in the middle, I think I took War Machine, played like a couple of games, and when I can't be asked carrying this box around, and I'm not doing well.
Oh, I remember that. Yes.
So I can't be bothered. Yeah, I much prefer playing games where I don't have to carry around a giant box full of heavy models.
Yes.
So, but yeah, so round by round, just to go quickly over what happened.
Yeah.
Round one, I played Mark from the Ice Hedge Fund podcast.
Oh, hey guys.
Yeah, which was cool. And we kind of went, oh, we've heard of each other's thing, which was cool. So he was playing Andy, or Andromeda from Criminals, and Polana from Jinteki. This round was a draw. I murdered Andy because House of Knives is really good, and he stopped my siphons really early on with Wizard and just scored out behind a thing. Well, I kind of went, it's ice, and I wasn't expecting to fight Polana, and I don't really know what I'm doing. Being a noob, Polana Foods is the ID and the deck everyone goes to when they're not really sure what's going on, because it's quite stable and doesn't have any terrible matchups.
Yeah. So it gives you a every time the runner draws a card, the first time, sorry, each turn the runner draws a card, gain a credit.
Yeah.
And you can make the runner draw cards in your turn as well, so you can get kind of 2 free credits to go.
Yeah. And it
sounds all right. Sounds all right.
It's good. It plays like a glacier a bit. And just kind of just scores out behind ice, and I wasn't really prepared for that because I've not been playing long enough to know about the archetype. So that happened. Round 2, I was against a wizard who just kind of died slowly, to be honest.
Is that a wizard as in the ID?
Yes.
Not an actual wizard, a man with a hat and a wand?
It wasn't like Gandalf or Saruman or anyone like that, no.
Oh,
sadly. So this was Mike Mays that I played.
Hi, Mike.
So, yeah, Wizard died over time. He had slums, which was a pain, but didn't do enough. Halfway through the game, we realised we'd been playing more wrong.
Nice.
Because more makes you trash a card, and that means hostile infrastructure punches you in the face.
Oh, it does.
It does. We didn't realise that for a while. But Wizard died anyway. And then, then game 2 against his corp, I was against Polana again.
There's a theme here.
There is. I scored a couple of agendas early, but I couldn't keep up enough, and he scored out eventually.
Yeah.
Sadly. So round 3, I played against Andy, who just died really quickly.
Yeah, that's good of her. It's good of her.
Yeah, it's DLR Andy.
Deserves it then completely.
And this deck hoses DLR Andy, the IG deck. So that was cool.
Long-term listeners will be aware of my hate for DLR.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite funny because basically Andy with DLR chucks things into the bin for you face down, increasing the chance that she can't break your stuff. And then you sit there going, cool, well, I'm just going to keep shooting you with bioethics.
Yeah.
So she hasn't got much game against the deck at all. And then the other ID was Sync from NBN.
Oh, throwback to different time?
Actually, there was a fuck ton of Sync at Euros.
Yeah?
Yeah, loads of sync kill decks, loads of them, which I didn't expect. A couple of them did really well as well. I think
how does sync kill you then?
It uses breaking news 24/7 and boom.
Is that the one I was playing briefly?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, I quite like that. It's fun.
It is
For me, not
but
for the other
oh my
person.
god, so many tags because I'm with the wizard deck playing account siphons. You really need to pick your moment to go. Bugger it, tag me.
Yes.
And it was quite a long game in the end because I was getting tagged and then went, do you know what, bollocks to it, I'm going to take the tags because I found my plascrete.
Yeah.
And I had my plascrete and then he trashed my plascrete, so I deja vu back out my plascrete and it kind of went like that for a little while. I think I had about 20 tags by the end of the game.
Yeah.
But it was literally that, can he get rid of my plascrete? Can I deja vu it back out and get it back on the table before I die? Can he recur the booms to keep trying to get rid of it? And it went in circles for a bit, but eventually he managed to keep me down.
Cool.
So at the moment I've gone 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. So I'm on.
That's fairly consistent.
Yeah, I'm on 9 points, but I kind of need to pull out a fairly good.
Something good, yeah.
I can't carry on like this because I'm not going to win. I'm not going to get through. So round 4 against Daryl.
Hi, Daryl.
This was a really, because you play 65-minute rounds.
Yeah. So at this moment in time, you'd played 195 minutes of Netrunner.
Yeah, I mean, I finished a little bit early on some games, but most of us went quite near to time.
Yeah.
So
was there a lunch break in there? Is it one game lunch, then 4 games in a row?
No, I think it was 2 or 3 games lunch and then a couple more games.
Oh, okay.
So I played against Kate in the first game of this round.
Is this a particular flavour of Kate? Or is this?
Yeah, Congress.
Because this is Daryl. Yes, Congress Kate.
Congress Kate.
Like sexual Congress Kate? Or...
No. It has underworld contacts. It has data folding. It has magnum opus, and it kind of just sits there and makes money.
Yeah.
So much money that it was upsetting because turn 4, I managed to res 3 bioethics and have them sitting there going, haha, I'm going to start doing you damage.
Yes.
So I shot a bunch of cards out of his hand.
Yeah.
His turn 4, he top decks a bloody feedback filter. So he can spend 3 credits to prevent a net damage.
Yeah.
So I'm costing him 9 credits a turn at this point.
Yeah.
Just from those 3 bioethics. With that 9 taken away, he's still making a gain of 4 credits a turn.
How's he doing that?
He gets 3 a turn from data folding, 3 a turn from underworld contacts, and then clicks for 8.
Ooh, okay.
So, like, he's making stupid money, and my goal is to kill him.
Yes.
So at this point, I've scored out my House of Knives, all 3 of them.
Yeah.
I have scored out a Philotic.
Okay.
So I'm on 5 points.
Yeah.
Anything I put down now, I have to advance. And I think I might have had a slight window to try and get that last bit of score, or to push him onto a fetal to drop his money enough, but
yeah,
I didn't identify it in time, hoping he'd stop making too much money. But that just got worse and worse and worse. And so in the end, it was like a 54-minute game where I decked out.
Oh god, yeah.
It was ridiculous.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. So
why would you bother being a hacker if you could make that much money?
I know.
Just sitting there.
It's mad. So then I came up against his corp deck, which he was playing CI.
Okay.
Now we've got about 7 minutes to play this game at this point.
Yeah.
By the time we've swapped decks, shuffled, put our tokens out, maybe about 5.
Yeah.
So we both kind of went, well, we're both going kind of quick. Let's see if either of us can get a timed win.
Yeah.
Long story short, he got an ice, put it on HQ. I got a keyhole turn 1, and just hammered the crap out of R&D.
Yeah.
Time was called. The entire game took us 4 minutes. And on my last turn, I managed to steal the remaining points I needed to get 8 points.
Okay, cool. So you've got a win.
It finished 8-2, so I got a win.
You won a game in 4 minutes.
I did.
That's
it was
impressive.
4 minutes that took about... I think we were playing like 30-second turns, because I got to like turn 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So we did quite well then, just both going bum, 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 bum. He was just drawing and making money, and I was just trying to keyhole some good stuff out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good. So again, I'm 4-4 at this point. So I've got 12 points. I need 6 points to win to get into the next day. Then we have round 5.
So you've now at this point, let me see if my maths can continue, played 260 minutes of Netrunner in a fairly compressed time period.
Yeah.
How were you feeling going into that last game, knowing you had to win both?
I didn't feel awful. I felt really happy when he flipped his ID and it was Andy.
Yep.
So that made me kind of think, cool.
It's a good matchup for you.
I've killed 2 Andys today. I assume he's playing DLR. This is awesome. I was like, you playing DLR? And he kind of went, maybe. I was like, cool. Excellent. Let's go. He wasn't playing DLR, Andy. He is playing lots of running, Andy.
Okay, cool.
And it was a really good game. He was stealing some stuff. I was scoring some hands and knives. You know, it went back and forward. I was keeping him quite honest with doing quite a bit of damage to him.
Yeah.
He seemed quite happy to take and draw up rather than trying to deal with the bioethics. So after a couple of he killed a couple, I friends them back out, and in the end, the sad end of my Netrunner stuff was that I sat there. He had 4 cards in hand. I had 3 unresed bioethics on the field, which would take him down to 1.
Yep.
I had a neural EMP in hand, which would take him down to 0.
Yep. I
had my mandatory draw, and I had Jackson on the table as well.
So you're waiting to see. You want the Jackson. Sorry, in those 3 cards, you want another neural EMP. So you've got 2 clicks left.
Yep.
To kill him.
Cool. So at this point, I'm kind of like, right, cool. It's kind of all or nothing at this point, because the other thing is he had 6 points of agenda scored.
Yeah.
And had a fetal on his film critic.
Ooh.
So it was a case of I win or I lose this turn.
Okay.
So so I was like, right, cool, right, draw my first card, see if it's a neural. It wasn't. And then I went, shit, I didn't res my 3 bioethics. Do you mind if I do it now? And he was like, oh, well, you've seen the card. It might have changed what you thought, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I was going to res them anyway. Like, well, you've missed the window. And to be fair, completely my fault.
Yes.
I did miss the window, so I didn't get to res the 3 bioethics. So I Jackson drew to see what happened, and I found the other neural EMP.
Oh, no.
So that should have been a win.
Should have been a win.
I was tired. I missed a res window, and it was sad times.
But you had no one to blame but yourself.
Exactly. I mean, and this is the thing. Like in team games, you can get annoyed if someone else makes mistakes.
Yeah. That's why I don't play well with others.
No. Whereas this was right, cool. I made a mistake, so that was sad. But it happens. And then I decided to. Well, we played the second game, and he won that because I was kind of disheartened and wasn't really caring at this point.
Yes.
So that was.
Did he need to win both to go through as well?
We were both in the exact same position of both needing to win both of our games. So rather than kind of going, haha, like, screw you, I'm going to try and knock you out as well.
Yeah.
Did this. I did actually manage this. This was a guy called Wouter.
Hello.
And I managed to chat to him briefly at the end of day 2, or possibly in day 3 as well, just to see how he got on. And I believe he came top 30 something.
Nice. Well, good for him.
So I don't feel quite as bad.
No.
that went horribly wrong.
That could have been you.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it happens. You're playing a ridiculous amount of Netrunner.
Yeah, yeah.
I was mildly annoyed. Everyone going, how did it go? Sad.
Yeah, I think I heard that story about 14 times that evening. So apologies for anyone I cackled at while it was being told.
Yeah.
It's mostly finding my own entertainment within the story. Because you want to go back and listen to that 14 times, but just imagine Joe getting sadder and sadder each time he tells the story.
It was not my best moment, but these things happen.
Yeah.
I mean, day 2 was nice. I got to explore the expo, and then day 3 I went back and
did all the interviews that you've been hearing.
Yeah, exactly.
How intense was it? I think that's the thing that gets me about. I like to play games to have fun.
Yeah.
So I've always kind of skirted the competitive scene, if you like, and haven't really sort of gone all in for it in the same way that you have. Was it welcoming? Was it friendly? Was it a laugh and a joke kind game, or was it staring into their eyes, wishing horrible things upon their mother when they play that particular card?
Everyone I played was really nice. Obviously, apart from round 5, because he didn't let me do my thing. But genuinely though, because when I said it, he didn't just kind of go like no. It was it was that like I'd really like to let you, but I'm not gonna because it's an important thing, which is fair. Like I don't hold absolutely no grudges for that. But it was everyone was as friendly as they have been at any other Netrunner event I've been to.
Yeah.
I didn't feel any more pressure than I did at the charity event or at the store championship we all went to. Netrunner people are nice. Everyone wants to enjoy the game. Nobody wants to be a dick.
Cool.
So while the stakes were a bit higher, I guess, I wasn't looking at this going, I want to win, because I just didn't see that as happening. I'd have liked to have made day 2, but a lot of very good people didn't.
Yes.
So these things happen. Sadly, because I was doing other things, I didn't play in the cash refresh event or anything like that, which I would potentially like to do next time. But there's so much going on at the expo that you can't really do everything.
The cash refresh then is like a side tournament, isn't it?
It
goes on as the other rounds advance. If you've been knocked out, it's the kind of thing to go and play if you still want to play more Netrunner.
Yeah, you can still win some stuff. It's still a good time.
I think we're probably going to have a look at cash refresh, because with our newbie angle, it'd be quite cool to have a look at that.
Definitely.
So finally then, Joe, what are your tips for anyone who's maybe not played in a premier event before and is considering going along to something big?
Print out the official decklist sheet.
Cool.
Either write on it or change it and then print it out, because it would seem that that's what they want.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, if they've got 2 people, which they did all weekend, sat there just looking through decks to make sure everything's legal,
they need that.
If it's standardized, it's so much easier. Like, if you've got to sit there and look through 200 decks and make sure that everything's okay, fair play. Excuse me. Other advice would be to the same kind of thing other people have said. Stay hydrated. Make sure you eat. Make sure you've got stuff with you that you can eat. Have stuff in your bag. Don't just have chocolate bars, because you'll get a sugar rush, which will be great, and then you'll crash and you'll lose horribly. Yeah. I took flapjacks with me because they're easy, slow release energy, and they're quite nice to just pick up and eat.
Yeah.
If you've got a break between round, have a break. Go stand outside for 5 minutes. If you smoke, go have a smoke. Do whatever makes you feel normal.
Yeah, and I suppose remember the timing of the turn structure. Apparently, it's quite important.
It is a big thing. If it's a premier event, you're expected to know how to play the game. So if you're kind of going, how does this work? You are going to annoy the judges. There are quite a lot of tips and stuff like this covered in the interview that you guys are about to hear.
Excellent, cool.
Especially when it comes to rules and that kind of stuff, judge calls and that kind of thing. But from a player point of view, yeah, take your breaks, stay hydrated, and try to not get too worked up. Like, it's still just a game. Some communities can be really off-putting. Some communities can be really kind of like hardcore rules lawyery aggressive when it comes to these kind of events. Netrunner just isn't. Like, this is some of the top players in the world playing here, and again, nobody had a bad experience. Some people got annoyed with results and getting knocked out and this kind of thing, but I genuinely don't think anyone had like a bad time or felt horribly about anything that happened. So just relax, have fun, and try and do well, really.
Cool. Excellent. So that's a nice segue that you kind of half started there into our interview with Michael Coop.
Yes.
Who was the tournament organizer, so the person in charge ultimately of getting the tournament up and running and making sure that it runs smoothly throughout the day. So giving a slightly different perspective on high level Netrunner play. So
yeah, it's that look behind the curtain.
Yes.
So under the nets, or
under the
works.
nets, inside the RAM. You can tell
quite volatile.
Cool. So yeah, over to that.
Okay, guys. I am here with Michael Coop, which I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yep.
Who organised the Euros competition. So,
yes.
Were you doing this on your own?
We were dragged in by FFG because we'd done the nationals and a few regionals a few years back. Generally, just I stick around with it, and they've not found anyone to do a better job, so they just keep calling me back in. And generally, I just said, yeah, sure. Euros sounds good to me. Nice step up. Obviously, they haven't paid for the trip to Minnesota yet, but I can always hope. And yeah, so just sticked around doing Euros, and it's been an absolute blast. 3 days I will hopefully remember at some point.
Oh, I know how that feels.
Sleep deprivation.
Yes. So how long did it take you to organise, or how long did you get to organise it?
I was told about it in pretty much spring, I think it was. And it was generally just, here is a team of people. Now, these team of people, I've worked with them before. Steve Westwell, Peter Hopkins, just absolute legends, and Ben Wicks joining us this year was just brilliant. It's the fact that we are good at what we do. We are efficient and we get to the point. And I think it's the fact that our aim by the end of that is for the players to have a lovely time, to have made the most out of it, but also to have a fair time as well. The fact that they can go away thinking, you know what, I did everything I could. No one was dodgy, and I just played the best that I could, and I had a great time doing it. And of course, get to meet the awesome people in the Netrunner community as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I didn't quite come away with that feeling, but that's purely because I'm an idiot and managed to mess up on Friday. But we won't go into that story now, because I'm sure it'll have been told already on this podcast. Just missing a res window at the beginning of a turn. Stupid mistakes. But I'm not a high level competitive player in Netrunner yet, so next year.
Hey, there's still time.
Exactly. Cool. So, how many people turned up and played in the end?
It would have been 224 that turned up. That is a monumental number. I think we once got about near 200. I think at one of the nationals, but that was just unprecedented. And then, of course, the worry is that there's 4 English blokes having a chat with someone who's from the Netherlands and Germany and France, and you just think, oh, brilliant! Please let there be no language-related barriers here.
Oh, well, I mean, I had this conversation beforehand saying how actually I had a brief moment of going, oh, God, what if that's a thing? And then thought to myself, actually, it's Netrunner. Everyone knows what the cards do.
Yeah.
So even if the entire game is pointing and other gestures and such, it should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, the look of absolute disgust when you see a snare on the top of R&D is universal in any language. So
yes, it is. I mean, talking about the participation, who's turned up for this? Looking through the Netrunner Dorks thing, there's a post that was, I don't know if you've seen, checking how many nationalities were at Euros.
Yeah, I think I had a brief look at that. I mean, I couldn't remember the exact number.
I mean, I've got it up here. So there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22 nationalities turned up.
Good grief! I mean, that's almost like a Worlds.
Yeah, it's mad. I mean, I suppose Euros is probably slightly better situated for a lot of them. But all in all, it's a fantastic turnout, and I mean, you guys organising should be so happy with yourselves because of it all.
Oh well, thanks very much for that. I mean, I think we've done an absolutely cracking tournament, really. I mean, just getting the players sat down, getting everyone moving nicely with the pace. Everyone generally understood what was going on. Apart from the fact that if I got £1 for every time I heard, so when do we have to turn up tomorrow? I probably would have retired to the Cayman Islands by now.
Cool.
But that's players for you. I mean, you do what you can.
Like I said, I think I asked you a couple of times when's the next round starting, so I could run off and vape for a bit. But
that's fine.
I suppose it's part of it, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Cool. Okay. So, I mean, yeah. Apart from there was a minor, well, I say minor. There was a ruling controversy that went on.
Which one? Which one?
I've seen the ABT ruling.
Oh, ABT. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Go on. Feel free.
ABT is the accelerated beta test.
Yeah, accelerated beta test. So when they score, they can look at the top 3 cards. If any of them are ice, they may choose to install and res them without paying any costs. Trash all other cards. Trust me, after the last 4 days, I've now memorized that card inside out and upside down. And there'll be someone on your podcast going, "Oh, he's gotten the wording wrong."
Bollocks to them.
Yeah, exactly. Either way. I mean, when it comes to things like judging Netrunner or judging any other card game, you've got a whole range of rules available to you. I mean, there's one on the thing of, why have you called me over? This is a complete waste of my time. Someone has obviously got the ruling wrong, all the way over to, oh, wow, this is now like a match loss disqualification thing. So you kind of have the whole spectrum of things to think about and do. I think in the end, the thing we settled for was obviously just shuffling it back in and firing it again. Yeah. And I'd put my thing on Netrunner Dogs. Basically, here's the reason why, and that'll be fine. I think, to be honest, looking back on hindsight in the ruling, it was an okay ruling. It was the fact that, all right, fine, I get what you're trying to do. But I think, to be honest, I think we've all agreed, and the judging network has agreed, that we're pretty much going to stick with, if you reveal an ABT, well, weren't you a bit of a muppet? Time to just face the fact that you've shown them 3 lovely cards that they may or may not want to access now from your archive.
I mean, it's a court mistake that punishes the corp, essentially, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not the end of the world. I mean,
it's not the end of the world, but I think the ruling that was made was kind of, well, yeah, I can see that there's going to be someone who's a bit disgruntled if he top decks 3 ice, but I'm thinking, well, I think it was, no one knew the information, it was misfired, and I think, to be honest, in any other situation, we would have just fired it again. But at least now we've got a ruling going into the future. If you reveal an ABT, weren't you a bit of a muppet? Time to just put those back in the look bit of only that you can see them, and pray that there's nothing there too damaging.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone that is interested, I'd recommend joining the Netrunner Dorks Facebook group anyway. But there is a lovely write-up of exactly what the ruling was and how they came to it on there. So if you are interested in further stuff, go and have a check.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, just from that point of view, the fact that you've followed it up and you've explained to the community, and it's one of those things that I think Netrunner does very, very well. Everyone kind of comes together and talks about everything, and it's all very open. Yeah, which is lovely.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, it's the fact that we all have this deep love of a dystopian card game that's asymmetrical, and we can all agree that it is awesome. So now we've got that caveat out of the way. It's the fact that it's generally how you play it and who you are. I mean, I've been, was it now 4 or 5 years since it came out? God.
Yeah, about that.
Yep, good. Now I feel really old as a judge. But yeah, I think it's the fact that, we all agree and appreciate each other. There's been very few, as far as I know. I mean, feel free. Someone will probably comment and go, "Oh, well, what about this?" Of personal attacks or flame wars going on. You're just we like this card game. Let's not make it personal here, and we move on. I mean, the community's gone. We've had women and non-binary events. We've had, like a celebrity gift, like a charity event. We've had, the pro circuit that's a completely non-official by FFG standards, but we just play in it because we love the card game. And I mean, coming out is, there's nice little pods now setting up in the north of the UK of Cash Refresh. And in fact, we're now bringing out a new format to whet the appetites of the newer players.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it is just the progress that the community has made off their own backs in a lot of places is amazing. And like you said, having such inclusive events being run that you don't really hear about or see in other card games. And like you said, I played in the most recent charity gift tournament, which is where I met a few different people. Where I met Richard Hammond, I met Tristan, I met Dave Whitaker as well. So there's a few different people like that, and that was a fantastic experience. But from that to Euros, I've not seen anyone being like grumpy or arsey about things.
No,
I mean, obviously people get caught up because they're quite passionate about what they're doing, but to the level that I've seen it in every other competitive game I've played in, it just doesn't seem to happen.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I think in Netrunner especially, I think it's one of the aims of kind of, starting it and nursing it to regionals, then nursing it to nationals, and now we're at the Euro stage. Is the fact that you can actually, control who. What do I put it this way? It's not controlling who's in it, but controlling how they behave. And I think it's kind of like an unwritten standard of you behave like an adult. Don't throw your toys out the pram. Play it properly, shake your hand and say GG. And then if you want to flame, feel free to do it in the pub.
Yeah.
But against your opponent, there's no place for it. And at one of my tournaments, there'd be no place for someone kicking off and, flipping cards and swearing at other players. It's just, there's no room in it.
No, there's not. I mean, the problem is, though, it doesn't stop people doing it.
Yes.
And even if it was going to be handled well, that kind of behaviour can still happen, but it's still not something I've ever seen in Netrunner.
No, it's something that I've seen cusps of it once or twice of players getting slightly irate, but to be honest, they remember where they are and they're like, okay, right, all right, fine. And then they chill out a bit, which I think is lovely. I think it's the fact that with Netrunner, there's not actual. How do I put it this way? I know that in a few other card games, there's like cash prizes up for grabs. So you can win like thousands. Yes. And I can see players, needing to win this tournament. They've got to get to first. Otherwise, their trip's just not been paid for. But Netrunner's just, we like this card game. Would you like more of this card game? Yeah, okay, fine. So, we'll give you some trips to Worlds and buys and whatever we can do to basically help you enjoy this game more. It's the prestige rather than the prize money.
Yeah, and it's generally got, I'd say your average age range for players is much higher in this than most games, which I think helps. Not that there aren't young players that come in and join in, but I suppose if your average age is quite high, then the example of maturity is going to be quite high, and that will, trying to think of a way of not saying rub off on the younger players, but that's probably the best phrasing.
Well, this podcast got dark very quickly.
It tends to do that.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. But I think you're right. I think we would like to see some younger players. I think it's great. I think there was a father and son team from Germany who turned up,
wonderful,
which was lovely. And I think he made it to the top few. It was very high up, really. It was just lovely to see that, really. The fact that we're now at a stage in Netrunner where it's been going for so long that parents are now starting to bring their offspring to the events. I think it's lovely. I mean, could you really see like my first Netrunner? Like, we got like my first Catan and my first I don't know, my first Catan. What was the other one I'm thinking of? My first Carcassonne. So can you not see my first Netrunner?
Oh, all the cards are slightly rubberized, so you can chew on them and
yeah. Just one server, just an AI break that says break through everything.
Yeah, very very simple maths. It could happen. That'd be the next thing.
Yeah, quick patent it before anyone finds it.
Yeah.
Heard it here first.
Cool. So, talking about then we've talked about the state of the community and everything. Something that's obviously on a lot of people's minds whenever changes are happening, is how the competitive meta is developing. Now, talking to different people seem to have quite different opinions on this.
Yep.
Some people have really enjoyed the meta that was around at Worlds, and for those that aren't aware, that's basically that you played CTM and Wizard, or you were less competitive.
So we're talking things like Mumbad kind of stuff and a bit of Flashpoint.
Yeah, that goes slightly over my head. I know roughly what you're talking about.
So things like Boom kind of meta, and getting Omar in, Mister. I'm going to drop some strength of icebreakers because I feel like it. Yep.
Isn't that Null, not Omar?
Yeah, you got it right. Yep, there we go.
Yes!
Well, this was lovely. This was a great podcast. So glad that I've made the first mistake here.
Yeah. Well done.
It's fine.
To be honest, I know it because I quite like playing Null. It's the only Anarch I enjoy.
Oh! Not Max. Not fan of the.
Max is okay. But I don't like seeing my things go in the bin.
Best thing to see them in the bin. You can't draw them then.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that. It makes me, as a slightly newer player, it makes me a little bit uneasy. To be honest, not playing Criminal makes me feel a little bit uneasy because I'm out of my comfort zone. But
I basically started running again because I'm a big corp player. Like I will corp for the world, but if you ask me to run, I start getting the shakes, drawing 5 cards, sweating. And in the end, finally, I had to go to Dave Hoyland. Look, you've got to tell me how to run again. I can't do this. It's just too much stress. And he says, "What are you playing?" I said, "Data Elite Reversal." Now, Data Elite Reversal, all you do is you sit there on the other side of the table and you tell the corp to mill cards. Just put cards in the bin until they have no cards left, and you're smiling at the end. And in the end, I said, "You just got to tell me how to run again." So after a bit of a brief coaching session on Criminal, I could finally remember how to run. So I then went back to Anarch DLR, didn't I?
As a fan of I like DLR decks. I think it's a nice change of pace. To change what you're doing, but I don't mind asset spam either. I think it's a perfectly acceptable way of doing the game differently.
So we're talking things like at Euros there's quite a lot of HB decks that were running quite a lot of assets, and I guess the prized asset is Estelle Moon.
Oh, it is.
Oh, I think, and here's my prediction, and I'll be wrong, and I will paint my face red and walk about town wearing a funny hat. I think that's going to go.
Can we have that as an exclusive on the channel if this happens?
Yeah, exclusive on the channel. I will paint my face red and walk around wearing a funny hat.
Excellent.
Here you heard it first at Nationals, kids. So probably I'm guessing Estelle Moon's going to go on the MWL.
I would expect so.
I think it's going on there. Now, to be fair, we're not talking like Cypher kind of levels of crackers. We're just talking, the fact that asset spam was already good. Like, if you have a look at all the cards in the set, and for all of your listeners, go and have a look at some HB asset spam deck and have a look at the winning one from Mike Sheehan. It's great. Oh, actually, no, Mike Sheehan wasn't playing that. He was playing Sync, wasn't he? Dan Giorgio. Yeah, go and have a look at Dan's. Go and look at Dan's deck. And all you will find is that all the rest of the cards were already out. It's just Estelle Moon has now come in the deck, and now the deck is completely crazy.
Yep.
Because you can just draw cards and gain money like a nutter for just playing the game. So really, I think that card is it's very strong. We're talking like Jackson Howard auto includes kind of strong.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
It's very difficult to beat. I run an Estelle Moon. Well, I get rid of Estelle Moon and have a load of money. You'll go.
Well, there's a really good counter to it, but it's tier 3, so.
Rumour
Mill shuts it down, but.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But now they've shut down Rumour Mill.
Yeah, this is it. I think Estelle will hit the most wanted. I would think at a tier 1.
Yeah. Just to kind of drain the fact that you've got daily business shows that players are now thinking, can't run daily business show now. Now what do I do? And I think that kind of just getting them to absolutely worry about the fact that their deck might be slightly less powerful might make them switch to something else.
Sync.
Oh, yeah. I'm currently playing Sync Boom at the moment, and Crumbs, I shouldn't have mentioned that on the live podcast. So never mind. So yeah, if I drop Sync on the table, you probably know the fun times that are about to happen. And I think, to be honest, I'm so glad kill decks have come back now. That was brilliant. NBN kill was something that I've missed for some time. Because I won my first, top 8 at the regionals with my first ever Sea Scorched Earth deck.
Oh, cool.
And that was lovely when you just drop Sea, have a tag, double Scorch. Are you playing Plastery? No, well, good game to you.
Yeah.
But now, for some weird reason, they kind of, Plastery came, and then a lot of other like anti-tag decks, and they had a lot of money. And then Corps just couldn't do it anymore, and NBN had other interesting things to do, like fast advancing things. So it's good to see finally an NBN kill deck come back and win. Which is the main thing.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been a fan of NBN. I've never liked that they seem to like. I've been playing this competitively for a year now, so it feels like the entire time I've been playing competitively, yellow has been king. And I don't, as much as I am what you would refer to as like a power gamer, I like playing the powerful things. I like playing the top tier meta stuff. Not many of the people I play with locally are like that. I've not really played much NBN because it just is horrible.
Yeah.
But this is the thing with the meta now. You're not just looking at a sea of yellow and orange. You've got people playing good shaper decks. I mean, you look at the US Nationals; it was very, very green.
Oh. I think anyone who hasn't seen that video should watch it and try not to look at their deck and think, why could I have not built this absolute behemoth of like 20 clicks to do what I felt like? That's just it. Oh.
Was that the winning one?
Yeah, that was the winning one where he's playing game day, and it's like, what? Why is he playing? Oh wow. Okay.
It's the game day 3 encores.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a look at that. It is mad. For those of you watching on YouTube, there will be a link up to it now. Go look at it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
it's got some hard counters.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, anyone who actually has a clue of what they're doing and decides that. I mean, I think you can actually play blackmail against it, because I think Out of the Ashes says you remove it from your heap, and blackmail says, well, you can't remove it from your heap. So deal with that, Out of the Ashes. But
blackmail? I mean, that's the wrong card.
Yeah,
Coop.
But no. Oh no, sorry. Am I saying blackmail or blacklist?
You're saying blackmail.
Oh, I mean blacklist.
Twice.
Twice. I know, that's 4 mistakes already. I hope people are counting this.
Yeah, we'll have a counter going on the video.
Yeah, good. How many mistakes Coop makes? Yeah, it's fine. Oh, someone probably from Netrunner Dogs will probably blast it anyway. How many mistakes has he done? Let's count. So yeah, I think probably with blacklist would just stop it dead. Yeah. I think if you put one, well, actually, yeah, if you put one blacklist in the Corp deck, they've not got a chance. Especially if you're holding all the agendas in your hand as well. If you've got all the agendas in your hand, well, you've definitely won. Congratulations, because unless they're gonna run R&D, see all the cards, and then go, what have you got left? And it's like, well, not a lot, really. I guess it could kind of equivocate you to death, but I think that would be the time when you probably burn your Netrunner collection.
Maybe. Cool.
But yeah, I think the meta's pretty good. I mean, sorry, that's fine. I think it was better than the Sea of Red anyway, where it was like we're playing IG-49 decks, which was basically just, we're going to net damage you to death. I think that's when the meta got a little bit boring and players started switching off. But I think now we've got HB, we've got NBN. I still think Jinteki is very viable. And Wayland obviously has Scorpius, which is still my most hated card of 2017. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So, some other Netrunner-based questions. Do you have a favourite card? It doesn't have to be good.
It just has to be a card.
Just something that you like.
Something that I like. That if I could put it in any deck, I would. And if I could put any card in any deck, it would be Bernice Mai.
Yeah.
That woman works around the clock for NBN and gets no love for it. And it's a shame, because I mean, I don't know if you got a copy of the card there on the net. I think it's something like you do a trace, if successful, give them a tag. After they've made a successful run on the server, it's kind of like a bit of an Ash card, really. Once they've made a successful run, do something. And if it fails, then you trash Bernie's Mai. And it's like, well, Bernice needs to do her job, otherwise she gets fired. And it's like, well, that has to be the most flavorful card in Netrunner going. It's the fact that you either do your job and watch the runner, or get out of the office.
Yep.
It's lovely card. Completely useless, I think, nowadays. But if any listener would like to try and make a Bernie's Mai deck, then feel free. That'd be brilliant. But yeah, Bernie, absolute respect. Should be played more.
It's an interesting one because they need to get into the server because it needs to be successful.
Yep.
Which means they're probably just gonna. I suppose it's really good if you've got someone trying to Kihoe to you.
Mm.
She can sit there going, oh, there he is, there he is, there he is.
Yeah.
Any other time though, they're going to get in, take attack, and poke her in the eye, and she's going to go away.
Yeah, or they just go, right, I'll beat the trace, and you go, oh, fair play.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Sunny Decks just completely laugh at it.
I can see the reasoning there. Good answer.
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite ID?
Ooh.
Again, even if it's bad. For example, I absolutely adore Apex.
Oh, go on. Yeah.
Not in game.
No.
I'd love it to work. But I think the theme of it, the idea, the fact that it's some malevolent AI that's trying to eat all the data, that we're not really sure yet where it's come from, maybe, is really cool.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Oh,
yeah. And I'd like to see a few more things like that.
Yeah, of just completely sideways games of I'm kind of like Quetzal, really. Of kind of, I'm not going to play Netrunner. I'm just going to do something else instead, and keep up if you can. Favorite ID. Do you want a Corp and a Runner one?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's like, which child do I hate more? What have I got? Corporation ID, Nizé Division. Like, there is so much jank you can play out of Nizé Division. It's unfunny. So Nizé Division is kind of a standard card. Standard influence, which is just whenever you play a side game, you gain a credit.
Yeah.
And I think that's just absolutely brilliant. I mean, obviously the cash refresh deck I took to cash refresh. All I did was just gain money off that. It's so good because every turn, if I did something, I gained a credit for it. If the runner did something, they gained a credit for it. And by the end of it, it was almost as good as ETF. Of just, well, I'll gain a credit every turn just for doing what I normally do.
Awesome.
It was brilliant. Yeah, so definitely Nizé Division for the court. That needs more love, more side games, and I think Mind Game has really done that one. Runner ID, it's got to be Max. It's so versatile. I mean, I know you don't like things going in the bin, but just the free draw and free looking in the bin. The Conspiracy Breakers, which is kind of like your Black Orchestra, your MK Ultra, and your Paperclip, just applaud it. You love it.
Yeah. Enabling clipless installs is always good.
Yeah, absolutely. The only problem is then is that Scorp really ruins your day by going, oh, that's 2 cards gone. Well, this one's gone, and you're very lucky today, aren't you? So
yeah, this is true.
So I think Max definitely needs more love.
Cool. So some kind of anti-remove from game mechanic.
Oh,
maybe.
Which one?
I don't know. Just something to stop that being quite so painful for her.
Nice. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, to be fair, Blacklist is well, it's. I mean, it includes Blacklist. Unless you fancy, I really fancy just using up a card slot to get rid of Max or the Conspiracy Breakers. To be fair, but yeah, maybe some anti-remove from game would be nice. I mean, Employee Strike's a thing which stops Scorp doing its evil stuff.
It does.
Yeah.
That's obviously an auto include, I suppose, now for Max, just in case.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Yeah. Quick, shut them down. Go on strike.
Cool. So, as obviously you weren't playing in Euros, if you were, what would you have taken?
Oh, I can tell you this immediately.
Excellent.
Well, actually, I'll change my. Well, no, I can't change my answer because Earth Scion wasn't legal. But probably my sync deck. Probably, Fire Informant sync. High risk, high reward. Really, is the fact that if they found a Plascrete, fine, GG. Can't do anything about this. I'll probably just score out and just pretend to just be an NBM Path Advanced deck. But I think pretty much the sync boom decks now are coming into their own. NBN Yellow Kill is back, and it is kicking ass. It's lovely. As for Runner, God,
Max DLR?
Yeah, roll on the Max DLR train, if that was possible. I think, would I have taken DLR? I think I would take something to run, because my principle was and still is that Netrunner is based of 2 things: scoring and stealing agendas.
Yep.
So with my deck, as much as Sync kind of tries to blow them up, I can still score 7 points of agendas and still look good while doing it. And I think that's the main thing, is that I'm scoring 7 points of agendas. For running, I want a runner who can run. So DLR would be great, but I just want to run. So I think it would probably be either some kind of wizard cutlery deck if I could find it, or basically just play Shaper. Just play a very quick, very nice Shaper. Diper's great for that, and just make all the runs all day.
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool. Probably looking at wrapping this up soon.
Yeah.
So, for our other non-Netrunner listeners that might be listening at this point, do you have a favourite or a couple of favourite top 3, if you like, board games?
What as in we'll always hit the table. Well, I'll try and do variety then.
Okay.
In terms of the one that I kind of just, if someone said, "Yeah, do you want a game of Eminent Domain?" I'd be like, "Yes." Yeah, put Eminent Domain on the table every time. It's space themed. It has multiple variants of winning strategies. I mean, in the end, I actually emailed Seth Jaffe at one point and went, "I'm really bad at Eminent Domain. How do I win this?" And in the end, he emailed me back going, "Okay, here's what you need to do. Just stop trying to just gain a lot of cards. Start building your little technologies, and you'll be fine." And any designer who has 5 minutes for a player going, "I can't win at this. I suck at it," is definitely a winner in my book. It's got 2 expansions already, but I think the base game, by the end of that, you'll just have so much fun. What else have I got on my shelf? I'm just staring at this large shelf right now. Seasons is another card-based one, but it's more kind of similar to Magic, but you've only got a limited space on the table. And generally, just playing that, I don't think I've ever had a game that's been the same twice. There's a drafting mechanic, there's then card-playing mechanics, you can player interaction to the moon. Absolutely wonderful. And then my last one, what is my last one going to be? God, it's like Favourite Child all over again. I think, to be honest, it's going to have to be Terra Mystica. And a load of your players will go up in arms going, "Has he not heard of any of the new stuff that's come out in the last 5 years?" But honestly, that game is just beautiful for what it does. Players are nicely interacting with each other, but not in a not in a threatening kind of "I'm going to blow up your land" way. You can just get on with your own plan. Nice optimization engine. Just absolutely sweet game. But hey, if your listeners say to me, "Look, Coop, Terra Mystica is not where it's at anymore. This is like Terra Mystica, but far much better," more than happy for any recommendations that you've got.
Cool. So, bashing my microphone. So, yeah, if you've got any recommendations for Coop, post them up on the video. We'll bombard him with messages, suggestions. Something that I didn't think to ask, actually, which has just popped into my head. Have you played New Angeles yet?
I have played New Angeles. I've had one game. I played as NBN, because, of course, why would anyone play anything but NBN?
Oh, yeah.
Seeing as we now own John Hackman, just in case the RLC guys are listening, we now own you. So thanks very much. So yeah, I think New Angeles is really good. I mean, I've played everything apart from Mainframe. Mainframe seems a bit too abstract for me. Android's great, but save an afternoon and the headache for that one. And Infiltration is just nice and quick. New Angeles, I think, is phenomenal of how tight and how beautiful the game just interacts with each other. It's almost like Battlestar Galactica set in the Android universe. I don't know how to describe it more than that, other than I now you've mentioned it, I now need to go and find some people to play this game with.
Yeah, we've picked it up and we absolutely loved it as well. Anything where there's that little bit of intrigue and dealings going on, always a big winner with us.
Yeah, and generally just people shouting at other people across the table going, "Look, if you do this, good things happen." And then someone goes, "Well, but this guy's going to bribe me with something." It's like, I think it's just the epitome of how the corpse would be. All I'd love to see is just kind of a runner-based game based on, opposite of New Angeles, really, of kind of like a bit of resistance, really. I could see that of, right, we're going to do a massive hack on this server, and a couple of MCA informants. Ooh, there you go. That'll make your resistance go along longer.
That sounds like a really good idea. Something else we need to get on. My first Netrunner.
Yeah.
And whatever we're going to call this resistance variant.
Yep.
Awesome.
Hey, that's my server, probably, if it's FFG.
Yes. Cool. Right. Have you got anything else that you would like to say? People you'd like to thank? Things? Well, any advice for new players getting into the competitive scene from a judge's point of view?
Right. In terms of thanks, I mean, just thanks to all my judging guys and any other judging guys really that were there on the day. I mean, Steve, Pete, and Ben did an absolutely phenomenal job. There's been some very tough rulings, especially if you decide to play more. If you play more, that just makes my life even more harder as well as Scorp. Generally, all the players I think were really well behaved, did what they did, and they did it with such flair and such pizzazz. It was absolutely fantastic. They really were some great players. If you're a new player fancying getting into Netrunner, by all means, pick up a core set. You know, if anyone says, "Oh, you need this," and then you need all of this, just pick up a core, just play through what you like, and then pick up a deluxe box of whatever factions you appreciate, and just go and play it. Go and play it with as many people as you can, and just love it. And if you want to enter a tournament, just bring whatever you can cobble together. Yeah, just Google some stuff and bring it down and have a laugh. Because at the end of the day, that's what Netrunner is. It's just having really good fun, set in a dystopian universe while trying to make sure you don't get blown up by boom. What I'd say is keep a lookout for cache refresh. That's probably going to be the next major thing over the next year that we're going to try and push out into the community slowly. And it will only be the last 2 expansions, big box of your choice, 1 core set. And if you want to play Terminal Directive, then go and borrow someone else's Terminal Directive cards and play that, because that's also a very good game. Go and play it, and go and enter some tournaments and have a laugh and win some prizes, and just really love the game. And if a judge does arrive at your table, just chill. We're here there to help you. We're not here to shout at anyone. We're not here to make you feel bad. We're just here to try and get what the right ruling is, and then you can get back to your game and go and account siphon somebody like 5 times.
Yes, and I think that's great advice. I mean, if you do have that worry of thinking, "Oh God, there's judges. Am I allowed to call them? Am I not? What do I do?" It's fine. They're nice people. They know not everyone is at the top tier level. I mean, I sat there because I was playing IG in Euros, and I had a dice marking how many face down cards there were.
Yeah.
And now I know you're not supposed to use dice to represent things in Netrunner now, etc., etc. But I thought it's not something that if the dice falls off and gets knocked, it doesn't matter. The cards are still face down. We can count them again. Yeah. But I had that moment of going, is a judge going to come tell me off because I'm using the dice? And then thought, well, if they do, I go, okay, cool. We just have to count that. That's fine.
No, it's fine.
They're people too. They're not going to banish you from the tournament or something like an angry wizard.
Yeah, if it makes your life easier, then feel free to do it. Just don't make notes of, you can't have anything written down, but if you keep track of things on dice, then yeah, absolutely. That's not, that wouldn't be a problem as long as it was something that you could then just, if it knocked off, you could then just quickly recount it, it'd be fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise it for credits or something similar, because it can really break the flow of the game if it does get knocked over. But
yeah, I mean, the best advice I'd ever say to a new player is really worried about calling over a judge if they're a bit unsure about something. And, don't get me wrong, they might have been, a world champion previously, and they think they know all the rules of Netrunner inside out and upside down. They've memorized the FAQ. If you're not sure on something, you just go, I'm a fairly new player. I don't know the ruling. I'd just like to know what it means. I'm going to call over a judge. And then just call them over. And if the player starts kicking off and giving you grief, just tell us. And I'm more than happy to go and tell that player off on your behalf. Because that's not what we want in Netrunner. We want a nice, inclusive community. And if someone's not sure on something, then we'll find out and tell you.
Yep.
So don't panic.
Excellent.
No.
Right. Well, thank you very much for your time.
No, thanks for having me.
And thank you very much for running such a great tournament.
Hey, thanks for
being such a for the community, but I might be assuming a little bit much, but everyone I've spoken to has enjoyed themselves.
Brilliant.
So yeah, thank you very much, and hopefully we will. I'll probably attend a tournament you're at again at some point, and it'll be great to potentially chat to you in the future.
Good, it'll be good to see you and any of the listeners there.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot.
Not a problem. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Awesome. Yeah. So thank you very much to Coop for the interview. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us, and hopefully you people listening have learned a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes. And how to appease the great gods of Netrunner organised play.
Indeed.
By not messing up your deck lists, etc., etc.
Or doing things wrong. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much to Coop, and that brings us to an end for this particular episode. As Joe said, we've got a few more interviews lined up with some of the people that were at the Euros. And that will form our next podcast, which should be coming out in a fortnight's time from when this was published.
Yes.
So if that sounds interesting to you, then make sure you subscribe so you get a little notification from the internet, all friendly like, just to tell you that it's up and about. And if you also like our coverage of board games, etc., feel free to have a look at that kind of stuff as well. Because otherwise, it's all been about Joe today. I mean, our hard work has been completely unrecognised. That makes me sad.
Yay! Is that not a cheering moment?
It could be a cheering moment for you, but you need to work on your timing. But on that note, then, I've been Brian Ennis,
and I've been very sad.
He has been very sad, but you'd kind of let it go up until today. It'd been a couple of weeks.
No one had asked me for ages.
Yes. But for the 15th and final time, we've had Joe's sad story. And sometimes I might just take a little clip of the recording and then just play it to you.
I was just going to, if anyone asks, how did you do it at the tournament? I'll just hand them a business card and walk away.
Yeah, just write the link of this this particular podcast up. So thank you very much for listening, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.